Hello, I'm Happy Ghast, and good news everybody, the Happy Ghast is officially available for Bedrock testing as part of this brand new beta for the summer drop, and although it will be coming soon to Java, for now it also contains vibrant visuals, which makes for some beautiful lava, but also this Happy Ghast, the variant I know many people would rather. My goal today is to show you everything that's happened inside of this summer drop preview, but also the things outside of it, like the fun way the Minecraft server broke and allowed people to get the cape very early. But before any of that, we're going to answer the biggest questions about this guy. I know you've got a lot of them, and I intend to answer as many as I humanly can in this video, but first I have to do the YouTuber thing of reminding you to like and subscribe, because those things are important to me and hopefully to you too. But yeah, let's get started with this brand new preview. It's called 1.21.80.25, and that is notable because the last preview was 1.21.80.22. That means that they have skipped 2 internal versions, which means a lot of stuff has been happening in this last week, and it's also notable because if you want to play with the new features, that being the Happy Ghast or vibrant visuals, they're both behind toggles right now, which means they're probably not intended to be full features as of 1.21.80. Given that we'll be releasing in the next couple of months, that isn't that surprising, but it's still very interesting to see. But let's load up the world, shall we? Once you've turned on both of these toggles and you're in the game, you should be able to immediately play around with the brand new Happy Ghast feature. Obviously, you'll have to be able to find one in the Soul Sand Valleys, or if you're feeling particularly adventurous, you can craft one. Now, what's notable is the recipe has been revealed to involve a bone block. We actually saw the original, the first sign of a recipe we got was from Bobbycraft, and apparently his recipe was based on memory, at least that's what Nembon seems to think, whereas the actual Happy Ghast recipe looks like this, and so now I can craft 6 of them, which, wow, is a lot. So that's how you can play with Drop 2 2025, just immediately when you load up a world. However, if you want vibrant visuals, as well as turning on the toggle while being in the beta, you also have to go to settings, and then once you're in settings, go to video, and then in video, all the way down here, there is a brand new option above ray traced, which is vibrant visuals. And we'll come back into vibrant visuals later, because it has lots of interesting tidbits that we weren't necessarily expecting, including great news from, great news for me, in theory, as an Xbox One player for the sake of this video, because here's vibrant visuals running on my world, and even though this is a gigabyte world with so many mobs, it's running at 30 FPS, which is pretty decent, right? I think, given the number of mobs around here. And so yeah, as a Happy Ghast, I would love to talk to you more about this, but first, let's talk about this dried ghast. I'm not a Happy Ghast yet, and neither is this guy. Yeah, I think I'm a neutral ghast, and this is definitely a sad ghast. Let's fix that. So I'm going to be answering these questions live on the fly, so if it seems a little unpolished, I'm literally discovering at the same time alongside all of you, just like how I discovered that you can't put the Happy Ghast in flowing water, it has to be solid water, which we'll do now. Now, as we all know, this is meant to take many days to take effect. However, although we can see something happening immediately, which is interesting to me. However, I'm curious, is this based on time, or is this based on ticks? So what we're going to do is we're going to test both those things. First of all, we're going to add a bunch of time to the game. This is a copy of my Let's Play world, by the way, if you're curious as to the commands. But we're going to add ourselves 10,000 to the day. This should take us all the way into evening, if I did that command right. And then all the way into the next day, and all the way into the next one, and all the way into the day after. And as you can see, the ghast hasn't aged at all, because also doesn't the water look so strange on the grass here? Anyway, the ghast hasn't aged at all because clearly it's not based on that. Maybe instead, therefore, it's based on tick speed. So tick speed is this random thing down here, and we could turn this up to, say, 100 times, 150 times, Minecraft has decided for me. And let's see what happens in this case. Oh yeah, now you can see Happy Ghast aging quickly. Ah, look how happy he is. Hey, yeah. And that means we could put another one in here if we wanted to, which might be crucial for that 7th question we're about to ask. But for now, we have more important ones. Oh, it's so cute. Now we have what might be Minecraft's cutest mob, the Ghastling. I cannot state enough how cute I think this is, and how happy I would be if this stayed by itself. But as any proud parent, I'm going to make sure that my child does the best it can, and I'm going to grow it into an adult. So now here's the next question people have. Immediately after learning about a flying mob, which you can indeed tame and you can put a harness on, just like it's a llama, the next question a lot of people have is, okay then, now that this exists, is there a point to flying? The question therefore is this faster than flying? And I'm gonna level with you, it doesn't feel like I'm actually flying if I'm a baby ghast on top of a very big ghast, so I'm gonna quickly switch back out to my main skin. Okay, I guess I mean my real main skin. Okay, here I am now, much better, but I'm also ready to answer your questions about how fast the ghast can fly. So keep in mind that unlike some mobs, you can't sprint with the ghast, you simply use your movement stick, or your WASD on keyboard, to move the ghast around like it's yourself, and you use the jump that is A button on a controller to make it float into the sky. This is as fast as we can rise, so in terms of like actually going up, it's slower than a ladder. In terms of actually flying, it's substantially slower than anything else, but to prove it, here is a test. I'm going to line myself up with the start of this little stone building, and I'm going to fly over to my banner, and we're going to see how long it takes. So 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 5 and a 6. I'm going to pretend like my timer in my head makes any difference to the real time that you're seeing on screen, but you can see that that is taking very close to 20 seconds just to go this distance. For comparison, that would probably take half that time to walk, but to do the fairer comparison, let's show you the time that it would take me to fly using no firework rockets. Just using literal gravity, the amount of which you have an unlimited amount, hopefully. I'm going to show you how fast this would be. So when you dismount the ghast using the right stick on a controller, the dismount key on any other one, then what you'll interestingly notice is you can stand on top of it, and that makes it the perfect platform for making sure we fly over there. And will it take me 20 seconds? Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, no. I think even going pretty slowly, no fireworks, it took about 4 seconds. With fireworks, it can take far less. You might want an Elytra for activating this guy, but thankfully, because he knows that he is your flying companion, he tries to when you're not on him. I say he. Actually, I was going to gender it based on the color of the harness, but, it can be he still. I guess in Minecraft, actually, all mobs are neutral in terms of gender, but they over there are therefore going to try and get close to the ground, although they're doing so in a very confusing and annoying way right now. I would like to mount you again, friend. But yeah, so the next question is it faster than a horse? And the answer to that one can be answered with simply this. I'm going to do a quick run from here, the start of my armory, all the way to those stairs, and let's time the difference here now too. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 5 and a 6 and a 7 and an 8 and a 9 and a 10 and 11 and a 12 and a 13 and a 14 and a 15 and a 16 and a 17 and 18 and 19. About 19 to 20 seconds. We'll see the exact time on screen, obviously, but now let's compare that to our other Happy Ghast. I'm going to be honest, my pink one is a lost cause. They're flying away from me. Maybe it's because I called it he when it wants to be an it. But let's go to this guy and let's pick up a harness in the light grey variety. It matches you, don't you love that? Isn't that cute? And let's put one on him, and then let's try to desperately mount this. You're making it very hard for me. But let's desperately try to mount it and show the equivalent for the ghast. I'm amazed at how slowly these things go, by the way. By the way, you can also eat while on them, which is nice. But let's now do the same course we just did, but in reverse. So starting now, let's go. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 5 and a 6 and a 7 and an 8 and a 9 and a 10 and 11 and a 12 and a 13 and a 14, a 15 and a 16, a 17 and an 18, a 19 and a 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Oh, dear Lord. We're not done yet, but I can tell you that that was so much slower. So, just in case anyone is worried that this is going to be the OP transport method, it's slower than flying by about 5 times, it's slower than walking by almost 2 times, and so ultimately, the value in the Happy Ghast is not as a means for transportation, unless you want to transport a whole group, horizontally and upwards at the same time, and you don't all have elytras, or you specifically want to use the floating platform. So a great example of how this could be useful to me in my Let's Play world is I have all of these redstone torches, which are below my big sky rail here. However, annoyingly enough, if I want to work on those, it's going to be a whole pain. If I wanted to remove a redstone torch, or let's say I want to remove the entirety of this wood anyway, it would be so much pain to actually pick that up. But instead with my Happy Ghast, I can just sit here on the Happy Ghast, use it as a tool to break this, and if I find that to be too painful, I can dismount it and literally use it as a floating platform. So what this is actually competing with is not the horse or not the elytra, but instead it's competing with scaffolding, and in that vein, I would say it is wildly successful. Speaking of wildly successful, this sunset. I've got so many questions about the vibrant visuals, but I do have to answer your other big questions. So yeah, can you stand on the Happy Ghast? Yes, you can stand on it just great. Look at me right here. But the next question is, can you kill it by accident? Let's say I was trying to mine this and I accidentally mined downwards. The answer is, oh, yes. Oh no. So it has a decent amount of health though, which is nice. But yeah, don't be hitting or launching arrows at your own Happy Ghast, because you will be an unhappy and a ghast. I don't know. By the way, I've been finding them a nightmare to keep anywhere, so I am going to tie it to a fence, something you can apparently do if you choose to. Okay, next question here. Can you go through a nether or end portal riding a Happy Ghast? This is one I have a lot of curiosity about because a lot of mobs don't really handle the transition that well. To give you a great example of this, allow me to... Oh, you man, I had such a hard time riding these people. I'm sure there's something about it, but I'm just saying, you could make the effort to get down to my level, Mr. Happy Ghast. But yeah, what's interesting about this is some mobs have a hard time going through a portal. Here is a sheep in a boat just stuck inside of mine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly kill that sheep in a bucket, or sheep in a boat. You know, what is a boat if not a bucket of not water? But yeah, well, now we've made the portal free. Let's see if we can get our Ghast through it for me. Okay, so it feels a little bit like trying to parallel park a tiny vehicle here, but I'm doing my best. And, no, it's not working, is it? Oh, maybe it is? There we go. Oh, it barely fits. But that is a good sign for our odds of getting through this portal. By the way, if you want to move a Ghast down, I figured it would just float by itself. But you can, in fact... Oh, no, it's not fitting in this portal. You just aim downwards and hold forwards on your control stick, or W, I guess. But as you can see, it is not coming through this portal. And either am I if I'm standing on it. It does look like it's just slightly too big, and that's why, though. Yeah, this is a 5x5 space, and it barely fits in the 5x5 space, so no surprise it won't fit through a legit end portal. What about a nether portal? Okay, so it's looking pretty good for me, but the answer is no, you cannot. No matter how hard you might want, you can't go through a nether portal while riding a Happy Ghast. But if I get off the nether portal, then the Happy Ghast can go in. So presumably it would work this way for end portals too, if you could mine some of the frame or get some blocks by themselves, because if I do go through this nether portal, presumably there's a dying Happy Ghast waiting for me, because I don't think it's a big enough space for one to fit. But we'll see. Oh, wow. Amazingly not dead, and not even dying. But if I get on it, then... Oh, okay. I think I am... Okay, interestingly, you can use this to bug yourself through blocks. I think he is suffocating to death now, by the way. Oh, sorry, it is suffocating to death. Okay, yeah, this is sad and tragic. But now's a good time to bring up, you know, if you're wondering about your immortality, you might want to extend it, which sadly, you can't do in the real world without breeding. But can the Happy Ghast do it in their world via the same? The answer is no. There is no way to breed two Happy Ghast together. They don't have a preferred food, but they do, or rather, they do have a preferred food, but it is not what you expect. Okay, so here is something that's absolutely wild. The Ghast, just like any other rideable mob, will show you how much health it has. Currently, my guy has access to 20 hearts, or hunger, because it's above my hunger bar, but he has access to 20 mob health. However, that will go up rapidly if we enter the cloud height. That's right, the only way to slowly regenerate your Ghast beyond the very, very painfully slow base regen is to get to cloud height, because if you're at the layer where clouds render, even if the setting is turned off, then weirdly enough, the regeneration will get much, much faster. This is something that is wild to me and kind of unexpected. You can see it's actually quite a narrow layer, but apparently this is true not just for clouds, but also for rain and snow as well. The Ghast is effectively a giant sentient cloud, and that is something confirmed by this weird Minecraft update, and I think there's so much interesting stuff going on here. There's also weird stuff to do with the fact that, yeah, you can fit 4 players on here, only one of whom is counted as the pilot, and a lot of other fun little facts in this. Oh, side note by the way, having the beacons render all the way up this high is useful for moments like this. Look at this, I'm all this way above my Let's Play world, able to just hang out on my own little mini flotato. Although sadly, something you can't do, to the best of my knowledge, is you can't build off the side of your Ghast, because it's a mob, not a block. If you want to place blocks in midair, you're still out of luck on that one, I'm afraid. But yeah, isn't this delightful? A little floating platform that you can hang around with in the middle of the sky. Anyway, that is the Happy Ghast. Those are your biggest questions. Some other ones that you might have had, that I doubt so, but to answer anyway, is that you cannot put a Happy Ghast in a boat. They tried to idle around 64 blocks from their home position, which is where it was spawned or last interacted with. So even if you don't tie them down, unlike a horse, they won't wander away entirely, which is nice. And also, if they wear a harness, that idle range is actually reduced to 32 blocks, which is nice. Also nice is the fact that you could kill them if you were a monster, but I don't intend to. Instead, I'm going to turn on vibrant visuals to show you the fun way in which they work. We can't actually see it too well from up here, so while I work on getting my way down, how about I explain to you the fun way that the Minecraft Movie live event server is, let's put it politely, slightly not correctly working. That will actually allow you to get the cape early if you want to, but first things first, I want to show you this really fun bug, which is that if you equip a lava chicken and run to this particular point, then you'll actually be able to, by using the crouch, kind of fall over onto where the mobs will attack the walls. This is fun by itself, but it's extra fun because these mobs come out of nether portals, and although most of these portals are fake, this one is real, and so you can go to the nether while playing the Minecraft live event server. They just hadn't planned for that, and so they hadn't programmed it out, which is also the explanation for how you can get the cape early, so credit to Echo for this footage. If you download a particular MC pack, you can actually access options that you're not meant to be able to. They've grayed out the second layer of the mines to stop people getting diamonds before day 6 because they want you to come back, but if you don't mind waiting to come back, well, what you can do is you can activate this pack, hit that button, and then get your diamonds, and indeed get your cape early, which I think is incredible. What I am going to say is, even though there's not any particular dangers for most MC packs that I know that exist, they are just zip files, so be cautious when downloading them randomly from the internet, but I love that this exists in either case, and I just want to bring it up as a fun little thing that maybe you'll appreciate too. Speaking of fun things that you might appreciate, we are now in vibrant visuals, flying around my Minecraft world using the Happy Ghast, and my god is this something. Honestly, something on 2 levels. One of those is the level of beauty here. Look at that water. Look at the pathway here. Look at all of this world. It's great. I mean, I love my little fake mushrooms over here. They're wonderful. But also, notice how little I could see. I mean, from the top of my world, I could see just fine until I turned on vibrant visuals, because when you do, in order to maintain similar frame rates, just to be clear, it is actually slightly worse, your render distance goes down from, in my case, from 15 down to 8. If we want to turn it back up to, wait, we can turn it up to 24? Oh, then what we get is, actually, honestly, given this is vibrant visuals, right? It's the best looking visuals you can get in Minecraft. I think 30 FPS while turning up my render distance to 30 chunks, or almost 30 chunks, is nutty. Look how much I can see. It's almost as much as you could in the Xbox One edition, but what's even better about it is the fact that I can do it with these vibrant visuals on, and although performance is bad, like you can see, not all the chunks have loaded, even now, I think this is incredible nonetheless. Wow. Yeah, this is nutty. So yeah, the fun thing about this is this will work not just on your Xbox One, it'll work on Xbox. So obviously we were expecting current gen devices, but what we weren't expecting is just how broad the list actually is. To give you a direct read from the Minecraft article announcing this, Vibrant Visuals is available for preview and beta testing on Xbox Series X and S, the Xbox One, PlayStation 5, and PlayStation 4, as well as Android, iOS, and PC, although on those devices there are minimum device requirements, because, you know, there is only one grade of PS4 hardware. Ignore the PS4 Pro, there's only one grade of Series X hardware. And so as a result, on Android, you need an Adreno 640 or higher, which means any decently modern smartphone should be good. And on iOS, you need an A12 chip or higher, which if I'm not mistaken is a few years ago. I'll leave the most recent iPhone that supports it on screen right now. I don't know what it is, but we'll mention that. And on PC, you need to have Minecraft with DX12, which is remarkably low for a requirement. Honestly, it's amazing how low end of a device can actually run this. Again, I'm here on an Xbox One. This is a device that Minecraft has forgotten. The load times are in the gutter. It's terrible, but it's actually working pretty darn great. And what's even better, one of the cool things about this is the culmination of years of work of shaders, but they've actually got these fun little features, my favorite of which is the shadows. The shadows are actually based on the pixels of what you're looking at, meaning, what actually is this? This is gravel. I thought it was a shadow, but I'm just looking at gravel strangely, which means that if we have a weird partial block, like say a torch, oh, I guess a torch is a source of light, so it won't have a partial block. Let's put a dried ghast over here, let's say. You can see that I mean, it's a bad example. If we put it like there, can we face it a different way? There you go. You can see how it's actually based on the shadow of the thing, but no, I need a better example. Okay, so here's a great example. Look at the shulker box. The shadow actually follows the spinning box. There are all these fun little details. I'm guessing saplings will have a... Oh, yeah. Look at that. That is really, really nice. If it weren't for all this dumb grass, you'd be able to see it better. But look at this. And it moves with the time of day. The fact that Minecraft is not just upgrading these visuals in this way, but also calculating real-time shadows and... Oh, right, the tick speed's turned up. Calculating real-time shadows and having this all work is incredible. And I've got to say, I love the way it works with giant structures. Look at my bridge right here and see how as the sun goes down, slowly the shadows move with it. And because they're following the grid pattern, it looks a bit odd the first time you notice it, but I think it really, really works in the end. And ultimately, yeah, this is Vibrant Visuals, just my first little testing of it, but I have to say, I'm liking what I'm seeing. I want to spend much more time playing around with it on different platforms and different devices, but for now, I've just got to say, this is nuts. This is crazy. It's blowing my mind a little bit. And honestly, I know that everyone is excited for Happy Ghast, but personally, I think that Vibrant Visuals is going to be the game changer, and I'm excited to see how it works once I can play it on more devices, which I'll be doing soon here on this channel. As for people who are excited for this on Java, the good news is that both the Happy Ghast and the Vibrant Visuals will be coming to Java. In the case of the Happy Ghast, it's ready to go on Java. They're just waiting for releasing of the snapshot, so probably next week, whereas Vibrant Visuals will be much further down the line, and so just keep that in mind that they are both experimental features, but one of these is for the summer, and one of these is for the far future if you're on Java, and maybe even sooner if you're on Bedrock, because the experimental toggle might be a part of the 1.2180 update, which means in May, if you're willing to turn on a toggle for your world, you might be able to play around with this, even in the retail regular copies, which is nuts if you ask me. And yeah, I've said the word nuts a lot today, and so I'm gonna go enjoy some of those, I guess, because I'm about to watch the Minecraft movie, and I'll let you know how it is in the stream that we next do tomorrow on Saturday. Gonna be a lot of fun, but I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next one. Goodbye.